Any character model we have released, or may in the future release, will all share a pretty similar rig system, at least for the biped characters such as this skeleton. This tutorial we're just quickly going to look at the ways of using its different features, since the things it can do aren't always so obvious to be known about. First of all, over the side here, the different view layers for the different bones. This one here is intended to show all of its bones all together, in case you need to grab the name or to edit them or other stuff like that. This one to the right of it is a list of all of these standard bones. These are the bones that make up, the actual rigged parts of the rig. Unlike the ones here, which are the IK parts, which is what we're primarily going to be looking at. This all of itself is broken down into two parts. The IK for the legs and the arms and the chest, and the one for the fingers and for the face. And we're going to go through all of these one at a time in this tutorial. Well, we'll start down from the bottom at the feet. Of course, you can move the feet around like anything else, but you should also know that you can adjust the scale to curl up the toes or curl them down. So scale down, they curl up, scale up, they curl down. Next, here at the back of the spine, which is rotated to control the rest of the bones going down the spine. If you rotate it around the Z plane, it moves around like this, left and right. Along the X, it leans forwards and backwards. And on the Y, it shimmies itself left and right, does a little dance. But on top of that, moving it around doesn't do anything. But scaling it does a few things. Now for this I recommend putting it onto normal orientation, because it depends on if it's the X, Y or Z axis that is being scaled. If you scale it on the Y or Z axis, that moves around the shoulders, that raises and lowers the shoulders. So if you put it on the X, and I believe it's called the X plane, where it's Y and Z both together. Anyway, if it's on Y and Z together, you'll raise and lower both shoulders together, like this. And on the X plane, you do this motion where he leans his head forwards and backwards. Now I added this in because sometimes, like when he's leaning forwards and stuff, the neck can become quite strange. Looks like it's broken in a way. So now you can just scale it down on the X-axis, and it makes it look a bit more natural. The same is true for leaning backwards. Again, the neck looks kind of broken, so you can just move it forwards, move it backwards. It just gives you some extra control. The elbows and the knees act as normal. The root bone here acts as normal. The hand IK bones, pretty standard as well. Now we come to the bones on the fingers. And for this, I'm going to go to this layer just to see only these finger bones. On the left side, they're red. On the right, they're green. And basically what you can do with these is the fingers are made up of 3 bones, or 3 main bones. By rotating them, you affect the bone at the top here. So it's like you move the entire finger together. But otherwise, you can also scale them. And just like the feet bones down at the bottom, you can scale them down and they'll kind of form a fist. You can scale them up and they'll curl backwards awfully, like broken fingers or something. Of course, the intended use is that they be rotated on the Z-axis, not on the X or Y-axis, axi, and to be scaled down. By doing this process, you can get quite a bit of control over how each of the fingers looks. That gives you a quick way of controlling all of those bones together. You can even just select both hands and scale them down like that. This control also is the same on the thumb bone, as you see. Now lastly, we come to this final rig, this blue rig, hidden away, tucked on the right here on this last view layer. Now what this actually is, well, straight away you won't see anything from it. It'll look like it's not working. But what this is actually intended to be is compatible with a motion capture system. If you go to the custom properties, you'll find these 4 properties here for turning on and off the motion capture system. By setting them to 1, what happens now essentially is you tell the IK bones of the hands and the shoulders, the knees and the feet to follow along with the bones here. But the idea is you map your motion capture data to these bones here, and then the motion capture data will be applied onto the IK system. And while that won't give you a perfect one-to-one of animation between the motion capture data and the result here, what that does allow you to do is modify that IK information very easily by just animating poses of the IK bones. Oh, the last part I need to mention. These bones floating out the front here, there's 2 of them. The smaller one here, you won't see anything in this example, because this is actually what the eyes track to. Both of the eyes will track to the central point here of this bone, wherever it moves. Meanwhile, this larger bone here is where the head tracks to. So you can see I can move it all around like this. You can also rotate it, and the head will rotate alongside it. With that, that's all the bones and little hidden features of this rig system. Hopefully they're useful to you. Hopefully they give you enough versatility to do what you need to do. That's all for this time. Thank you for watching.